Welcome to the first ever Recharge Excellence podcast. I'm here alongside my co-host, the one and only Wayne Roberts.
Hello, is this thing on?
No. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? No. Anyway, hey, it's great to have you with us on the very first podcast. This is something new that we're doing here with the Recharge Excellence Conference. We're going to start this monthly podcast. We're going to be talking about stuff that's practical to ministry and things that'll help you out. I want to encourage everybody, our brand new location for Recharge this year is down in Anaheim, California. We're just right around the corner from the happiest place on earth,
Disneyland.
So make your plans now to attend March 10th through the 13th. All the information's on the website. Make your way there, rechargeme.org. All the information's there. You can sign up. It's less than $100 for an entire family to come. It's $49 a person to register. If you get in on the early registration, you can also get a special deal at the hotel there in Anaheim. We're staying at the DoubleTree Resort. It's an extremely nice hotel. You can get all the information about that right there on the website. So be making plans now to attend. But we've got some special guests with us here today. Our special guests are Jeff Jenkins and Dale Jenkins, coming to us all the way from, Lewisville, Texas. I almost said Dallas. It's in the Dallas area. And then Dale coming to us all the way from Spring Hill, Tennessee, or wherever in the world he is, because if you've ever listened to the Ministry Geek podcast, it was always the, instead of Where's Waldo, it's Where's Dale podcast. But anyway, coming to us all the way, we think, from Spring Hill, Tennessee, and we have him on the very first episode of the Recharge Excellence podcast for a reason. And the main reason is because, I don't know if Dale remembers this or not, but 5 years ago, it was actually 6 years ago now, Dale and I were sitting at a Starbucks in Spring Hill, Tennessee. We had just gotten back from attending something back there. I don't remember what it was. And we were sitting there, and I was talking about this idea of wanting to try to get something out on the West Coast going and started. And Dale looked at me and said, "Why don't you just start it?" And I said, I can't do that. Nobody's going to show up. He's like, "Just start it. Even if 10 guys only show up, just start it." So I said, okay. So we started it, and what it was that we started was the Recharge. At that time, we called it the Recharge Excellence in Ministry Conference. And we were thinking, hey, if we get 10 guys, it'd be great. Well, we had over 100 people that showed up that first year. And the whole reason that all happened is because Dale said, hey, why don't you just start it? So we did. We started. Here we are. This year is the 5th anniversary of the Recharge Excellence Conference. And so excited to have the 5th year. It's going to be our biggest and best year ever. And part of that program are these two yahoos over here, Jeff and Dale Jenkins. So we're so excited. Dale has been a part of the program every year. This will be his 5th year, and Jeff came on with us last year, and we started working together with them. And basically, they have an entire track of the week, and we just basically hand it over to these guys and say, hey, give us some practical stuff for ministry, that are useful to everybody, and you guys can pretty much do whatever you want. And so they do. And so this is all kind of an extension of a work that they do. They call the Jenkins Institute. So why don't you tell us a little bit about, what is the Jenkins Institute? How did it get started? What is it, and what are you trying to accomplish with it?
Well, first off, what I actually said was, stop whining and complaining and do something about it.
That's not what you said.
I thought I was the only one that had to use that line with Caleb. Excellent.
No, you've started a great thing there, and we're honored to be a part of it. Jeff, tell Caleb and Wayne a little bit about the Jenkins Institute, because I need to know about it too.
I just think it's a great joy to be on the first Recharge in Ministry Excellence podcast with Caleb and Mickey.
Caleb and Mickey. Again, his audio is all messed up.
Oh no!
There we go. There, it's back. It's better.
All right. So the Jenkins Institute. Our father passed away about 5 years ago, and our father loved preachers. There you go. There's Mickey. He loved preachers, and we love preachers, and we wanted to try to carry on his heritage and try to encourage preachers, and so we were sitting at Freed-Hardeman University one day talking, and Dale, take it from there.
Wait, I already know this. Dale said, quit your whining and just start it.
Something like that.
That's Dale's role in all of these.
Hey, Wayne, quit your whining.
Stop it.
That's all I got. That's all I got. I want a trick pony. Jeff actually leaned over to me. There was Jay Lockhart was lecturing. We're in Old Chapel Hall, and Jeff leaned over to me while Jay was lecturing. It's very disrespectful of an older man, and he said, "Let's combine our blogs." And I said, "Jeff, you don't want to do that. I'll get you in trouble."
Dale said, "Jeff, quit whining and don't talk like that."
Yeah.
I said no. I said he said no. We ought to do that. I said no. I write stuff that's raw and you write stuff that's mature, and we don't need to do that. But he insisted, and we got together and needed to come up with a name for what we were doing together. And again, Jeff said we wanted to honor Dad, so we started the Jenkins Institute, and from there a lot of things like the various webinars and blogs and.
Well, and one of the things you guys do, and Wayne and I have actually been a part of this, has been your Better conferences, which we think are phenomenal. I think it's a great thing. Why don't you tell us a little bit about, what is the Better Conference, where are they going to be at this year, and what are you trying to accomplish with those?
Go ahead, Dale.
Well, Better actually started in a weird way just because I want to be a better preacher than I am, and we started talking about how do you get better? Well, there are lectureships, programs, seminars, schools all over the place that teach you a lot about what to preach and a lot about, how to outline and stuff like that. And we thought there's nowhere we know that's teaching people actually about the art of preaching. How do you stand up in front of people and preach? And so we started Better in Spring Hill, Tennessee about 4 years ago. And then the next year we did one in Spring Hill, we did one in Louisville. And then last year we did one in Spring Hill, in Louisville, and in Florence, Alabama. And in 2015, we have them planned for Gulf Shores, Alabama, Dixon, Tennessee, Louisville, Texas, and Charleston, South Carolina. And those are the 4 Betters that we have planned for this year. And you can learn all about Better, the details of it at www. Nobody ever says www anymore, so I think you ought to say it. preachbetter.com.
So preachbetter.com, and I'm assuming you've got
the extra 50 cents and got the .com instead of the .org, Mr. Recharge.
There you go. Very good. Very well. Hey, if we could have got rechargeme.com, I would have spent the money, but unfortunately, somebody else had it, so we got stuck with the .org, rechargeme.org, not .com. Not because we didn't want it, but because we couldn't get it.
So our goal is to take Better conferences all over the country. There's a lot of guys that can't travel to seminars and lectureships and in places where they don't have continuing education, and we want to bring, we believe, the best preachers, and it's all about the task of preaching. Everything has to do with building a sermon, illustrations, preaching with notes, without notes, how to do the invitation, introduction. And that's the whole program. Nothing else other than how to, basically.
Yeah. Well, one of the things is this last Sunday was my 9-year anniversary being here with the Ripon Church of Christ. And one of the things wasn't this last Sunday, it was the Sunday before last. All of them run together, you know how that goes. But anyway, and one of the things I talked about was the things that I've learned over the last 9 years. And one of the big things that I learned when I graduated from school was that I had so much more to learn. And I think it's great what you guys are doing because you're giving an opportunity and an atmosphere, guys that really do want to learn better, learn how to become better and do more and keep expanding themselves and keep growing. They have these opportunities where, we really don't have a lot of stuff out there like this for our preachers. And so really like what you guys are trying to accomplish with these Better conferences.
That's why we keep inviting you to California. We know that eventually you're going to see the value of Better California. It'll be the same material, but the atmosphere is fantastic.
Caleb, one of our great goals is to bring preachers in of different ages, and so that's why we love having you in Texas last year, younger men, cutting edge, all of those things, and then we love to have people who are much older, like Wayne, come in.
Let me just coin a phrase from the better brother. That was very disrespectful to the older preachers.
I do believe you're older than him, aren't you?
We charge schedule.
What?
I noticed in looking over at Caleb that you have us speaking every morning at 8 o'clock. Is that because you just really don't want to hear us?
Yeah, because you know how much I love mornings.
Well, we know that by then Jeff is about ready for lunch, having got up like most elderly do early in the morning.
Ow,
So
ow,
we just want to
ow.
make sure he had time to get wrapped up. I think actually I think we got you at 9 o'clock. So
Yeah, you're
you-
good.
you
I'll
can
be
roll out
awake
of
by
bed.
9. I'll be awake by 9. So you'll be good to go. Well, this year actually, and glad you brought it up. This year at Recharge, you guys are speaking every day. For those that don't know the way the schedule works, the day kicks off. We have some digging deeper sessions where they really dig into some books. We have two very top-notch guys that teach those sessions. We've got Denny Petrillo from the Bear Valley Bible Institute of Denver. He's one of he's been there from the very beginning too. He started out teaching 1 Timothy, and then he taught 2 Timothy, and then Titus, and then 1 Thessalonians, and then this year he's going to be doing 2 Thessalonians, going to be going through the entire book. And then after Denny, we've got Dan Owen from Paducah, Kentucky. He's going to be talking about major themes that run through Luke and Acts, the Luke-Acts themes, and so we're really excited about that. Then after that hour-and-a-half session in the beginning of the morning where you really dig in, then we break out into these breakout sessions, and that's one of the things that you guys do. You have one of the breakout sessions. We have 3 different sessions that go on simultaneously, so you get to pick what you want to go to. And this year, every morning, you guys have a breakout session, and we just call it the Jenkins Institute. So why don't you give our listeners kind of a little bit of a taste of what you're going to be talking about this year at the Recharge Conference, and what you're hoping to be able to teach this year.
Go ahead, Dale.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, thanks for that summary, guys. We'll
Ta-da-dun.
look forward to that. That sounds really good.
One of the things we're going to talk about one day is building how to build better relationships among fellow preachers. And so we'll spend probably one session just dealing with that, how we can strengthen our relationships, how to build relationships, and what kind of relationships do we need, and we'll be doing that one day.
You know, and that's something out here, especially like out here in California, where a lot of times preachers and all are spread out more, you know, distance-wise, they're spread out a lot more. But really, you can't underestimate the value of those relationships. You know, you guys have been at this a lot longer than I have. Probably not longer than Wayne here because he's the oldest. But you know, talk about a little bit about, you know, what the value is of relationships and ministry.
Well,
Don't all talk at once.
Jeff always talks about how the different people that ministers need in their lives. I've heard him talk about that several times, and it's really embedded in my mind. Is that we need he says Paul,
Don't give them our whole class.
an older preacher, a preacher that we relate to that's our age, and a younger guy. How about that?
Yeah. Well, and how is that? Talk a little bit about how that's benefited you guys through the years.
Well, I'll just say, when I was a young preacher many, many years ago, Wayne, for your benefit, I don't know, I would not have been able to survive, I don't think, if it had not been for some older men who kind of helped me, who encouraged me, who mentored me, who walked me through some really difficult days in ministry and in family and other things. I wouldn't have been able to survive. And so we kind of said, you know, thanks for doing that. We want to try to do that. And we still have older guys in our life that we need. Even though we're older ourselves, we have older men that we respect. And there's a short list of people that if I have some major issue or question, I call them immediately. Then I think we need some guys who are our age, same category of life, same phase of life, that, you know, that can be honest and know what we're going through. And then we need all of us need some younger guys who we can help mentor and help them through, because we've been where they are now.
Yeah, see, and I'm glad that you're the guy that's going to be talking about it, and even though I tease you as a good friend all the time, you're one of those guys that I call it a peer mentor, even though we neither one want to admit that we're as close to one another's age as we are, but you always have an encouraging, I have a kind of a running joke about Jeff, which is whenever Jeff starts to talk about a preacher that he knows or an elder that he knows, he always starts with, I've got a very good friend who is an elder there, or I have a very good friend who's a preacher there. And the truth is, because that's really the way that Jeff always sees it, is they're not just my friend, they're my very good friend. And that kind of a relationship is great to have as a recipient. It's great to be a part of as one who contributes to it. And I'm actually looking forward to hearing more about what you guys have to say, because it's not just something you've learned and are teaching. It's something that you do all the time. So that'd be a great thing.
It seems like to me that most of the guys who get out of ministry, who fall out of line, it's because they don't have those relationships in their life. And we all need good relationship with our wife and family and elders and other people, but Dale and I don't believe that any person can understand what a preacher is going through other than another preacher. And so we think it's part of our lifeline. We've got to have that.
Very good. Well, Dale, what else you got for us this year at Recharge? You're going to be talking about that.
We're going to talk about one day. We're going to talk about better relations with elders and how to improve those relationships and how to build them. I think that's one of the ones that we had talked about spending some time with. And there was a third one, and Caleb, I'll just be real frank about it. I don't remember what the third one was right now. I can't come up with it.
It's going to be about how to remember things.
Yeah.
You're going to do a whole session on how to remember things.
It's in an Evernote file somewhere, we're sure.
I just was curious, Dale, has somebody moved the furniture in your memory palace? Is that what it is?
Yes, that's it. Whatever you said.
Oh, very good. Well, we're really looking forward to it. We're looking forward to having you guys out. One of the things we're going to have you do is do some Q&A sessions with some other guys too, and pull some information. So we're really looking forward to that. Looking forward to having you guys. It's just around the corner. In fact, less than 60 days away, March 10th through the 13th. And one of the best things is we get to see you guys, and we get to see you in Southern California, which is usually that time of the year, beautiful weather, nice and sunny, warm, and we get to spend a little bit of time hanging out together and chatting together, and then hopefully get to go over to Disneyland and get you guys some Mickey ears, since it's just around the corner. I can't wait to see Jeff and Dale and their Mickey ears.
Yeah.
Well, you've seen me in full headdress before.
I have. The whole yeah. That was the very first Ministry Geek powwow.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, that is one of the other benefits that we've had of the Recharge Conference is the fact that we can partner with like the Jenkins Institute, or in some ways the Bear Valley Bible Institute, bringing Denny in. It's kind of one-stop shopping with a cafeteria plan. You got a choice of multiple classes. I don't know what we finally totaled up the full number of classes were, but I think it's over 30 different options that you have during the 4 days or 3.5 days. And to say, man, we get to bring all the expertise of the Jenkins Institute, not just a guy who has learned some stuff, and all the expertise of these others. That's just one of the other benefits. And I'm glad the Jenkins Institute has found the time to be a part of it, because that's really what makes the program, even above and beyond Southern California and Disneyland, makes it what I believe is as good as anything on the left coast.
Wayne, we can't wait to be there. We're looking forward to it. Jeff and I'll get to be at Freed Hardeman at the lectures together in a few weeks, and then we'll be down in Alabama on the Heritage Christian Alumni Days program together. And both of those trips will be very enjoyable, but the California trip will really, really be neat, because we'll have an extended period of time to hang out together, and we get our benefit from it is two or threefold. One, just the fact that he and I get to be together. We love each other and love getting to spend time together and work together. But in addition to that, I love getting to know those guys out there on, as you said, the left coast, getting to know the guys out there in California and a little bit east of California. It's neat to develop those relationships and get to know them, and to get to expand our knowledge of guys out there and the things they're facing and dealing and struggling with. And I know the challenges are different in different places. We have some of the same ones, but you have some unique ones out there. In the last few years, I've learned more and more about them, and we'll look forward to addressing some of those and to seeing guys that we've met the last few years when we've been there.
And we consider it a great honor to get to be there, to be around all of those guys, and to get to be with you guys. And I just love any time I can spend any time with Wayne Roberts, and so it's a great honor.
I put this month's dollar in the mail for you.
You say that because you don't have to work with this guy on a daily basis. That's
the reason. That's the benefit, and I want to make sure that we're gonna post this socially, so lots of different people are gonna see it. The work that Jeff does with the Louisville preacher training camp that I've been able to be a part of for the last, what is this year, 12 or 13? I've lost track now.
13, 13.
And lucky 13. So we have those opportunities. And Dale, if I could keep track of where you were at any given time, I'd be able to give an announcement about all that. But that's the benefit, is that we get to contribute something to Recharge, and then we take something away from it, and it doesn't just benefit us or even the congregation that we're at. And I hope people that attend Recharge realize that man, it's not just about me being better. It's about me being better in my service to God, my service to one another, and it betters my congregation. It betters all those people. And if we do a good job taking those things home, everybody, I mean, it really spreads to a lot of different places, a lot of different works.
And Wayne, we'll send you the check for mentioning better about 10 times in the last sentence.
Yeah. Every time, what people don't realize is there's a contract negotiation where every time he uses the word better, he gets $10.
I would say it's a better contract negotiation.
Every time you hear that bell in the background, that means we've hit another.
I knew there was a tally board back there. I think it was old Jerry Lewis that used to do timpani every time that they rolled the muscular dystrophy tote board. So we're just going to run.
I have no idea what he's talking about, which means this must be some old guy joke.
Back when we watched television, we had that. So.
Caleb, we used to only have 2 channels on television. So.
Yeah, you cannot fix a computer now with a coat hanger, can you, Jim?
That's right.
You can maybe try. Well, speaking of which, made a joke about not having to work with this guy every day. Something we want to talk about today on this very first episode. We do want to talk about working together and how we work together on stuff. And so we've got Jeff and Dale here, and they might hang out with us for a little bit and contribute some to this. But one of the things is Wayne had worked with the Parker congregation in Colorado for, was it 17 years? About 17 years. Pretty much by yourself, no other full-time workers. I've been here in Ripon 9 years, and pretty much by myself, no other full-time workers. And so we've gone through the last 6 months through this kind of adjustment period, because we're now working together as co-ministers here in Ripon. And just for those that don't know, Wayne and his wife Tammy do these marriage seminars called His Shoes, Her Shoes. They travel about 18, 20 weekends out of the year doing those seminars. So there's a lot of times that Wayne and I are working on stuff, and we're working on stuff at a distance because we're not sitting this is a rare sight, us sitting side by side at the table together, because we're both kind of going in different directions. But we have, one goal and everything that we're trying to accomplish here. And of course, Jeff and Dale both do a lot of different speaking engagements and things, and they work together on the Jenkins Institute stuff from a different location. And so what we've kind of done is we're still learning as we go along, but we've learned along the way. There's some stuff that's really helped us out as far as
and you guys
working together.
You guys understand long distance communication. It's not just about rolling over and talking to Caleb. It's like, hey, I'm in Florida and you're in California. That was here about a month ago, and stuff was needed. He goes, I need a picture of that. Can you send me the artwork for that? And I wish we were just always across the table, but if we were, we weren't getting anything done. Is there anything you guys have found that has really helped you? I mean, I know you're brothers and you have that connection, but anything that helps you either by a mechanism or by a procedure being long distance?
Obviously, technology, is definitely a big help. We text throughout the day, and
well, it's funny you said that, text, because this is something I think that we neglect thinking about. But as far as our communication, 99% of it probably takes place through text messaging. I mean, really, if we didn't have text messaging, a lot of what we do wouldn't even be happening without text messaging.
Yeah, our wives call. My wife will say, "How's the bromance going?" Because in the evening, Caleb and I are talking probably more than we do when we're in the office together, because it's a time your mind kind of is off of a particular project. And you're right. It's just I can speak in real time, even in a situation where I'm watching a movie, and it would be disruptive if I were on the phone to be able to text that back and forth.
That's one of the beauties of our day. When we started preaching and we didn't have computers and cell phones and all of that, we could go for weeks without seeing another preacher or talking to them. And now it doesn't matter where you are. I had a lengthy conversation today through text message with a preacher friend in South Africa that had texted me, and so it's like we're just across the street from each other. So what a tremendous blessing we have to be able to communicate that way, even through things like Skype, like we're doing now, or whatever it is. And there is no excuse for us not building stronger relationships because of the beauty of the age we live in.
Yeah, well, and I don't think you can underestimate the power and the necessity of communication. I mean, if you're going to work together on anything, the primary means of making that happen is through communication. So these communication means being able to stay connected. They're extremely important, and text messaging is one of those things that really helps us stay connected together. Another big thing for us has been, we both have calendars that are extremely busy with stuff going on, and so one of the things that's really helpful for us is the ability to use Google Calendars. I don't know if you guys use Google Calendars much, but just the ability to use the Google Calendars, and so it's automatically syncs to our phones. Wayne can go in there. He puts his seminars on there. He puts where he's going to be in his travels and things like that. The stuff that we're doing together, it all goes on there. And so I can put stuff on there. He can put stuff on there from literally anywhere in the world where we have a cell phone connection. And we both have access to that. And so that Google Calendar has become an extremely important part of our working together, because it gives us that ability to be able to know what's going on with each other and be able to stay in connection with each other. What do you guys, you guys got Jeff, I don't know, you've got what, 3 or 4 other guys you work with there full-time there in Louisville, and I know...
We use, and Dale and I do this a lot, we use Evernote a lot. Dale and I are big users of Evernote, and we put every upcoming event where we're both going to be a part of it, we start an Evernote file, and we just throw everything into Evernote. And like you said, with Google Calendar, we can access that wherever we are.
Yeah, I would say any kind of collaborative tools that you have online right now are useful. Some people use Google Docs to do writing and things like that. They can also be edited by multiple people, and there are quite a number of tools like that right now that are available.
Yeah. Well, one of the biggest tools, and this is something I want to talk a little bit about. I don't know if you guys, Jeff and Dale, if you've used this at all, but something that Wayne and I started using here about a month and a half ago that has really been I don't even think I can estimate the impact that it's made as far as for the good that it's made, because we're still kind of learning it and putting it together. But it's a program called Basecamp, which is entirely cloud-based, and it's a program that's cloud-based that is a what would you call it? A project management. That's what it is.
Yeah,
it's project
really
management.
an elaborate list of to-dos in which you can make assignments to individuals. You can keep track of the assignments that have been placed to you. Caleb said that one of the first places that he found out that it was being used is directors and film producers, because they could watch what all the different trades, all the different entities involved in that were and where they were at any given time. It can give you a daily report on what events took place the day before. You can make a change, and again, it's the same thing. As soon as it's uploaded, you finish a document, you upload it to the cloud, everybody can see it, they can access it, they can make notes to it. It's been really and it's very simple to use too.
Yeah, extremely easy.
Sounds like I got to learn this. I mean, Caleb sent me the link to it. I signed up, and probably within 20 minutes, I was uploading pictures and documents and making to-do lists and checking things off. So it's been just really useful, relatively inexpensive, and right now I would give it a high mark, just because it's been.
I just made myself a note to check that out. I'm not familiar with it, but I would add to this conversation something that I think is pretty important for us not to forget, and that is the shortcomings of technology and the pitfalls of it. I'm a technology guy, but you can be so easily misunderstood. You can't read a lot of times voice inflection and what's behind a comment, and can't check it out as quickly and as easily. And so I think while you use all those tools of technology out there, there needs to be an understanding of the fact you're on the same team, but B, some opportunities for you to be face to face, or at least voice to voice, where you can communicate in that way. That's hard to underestimate that's importance.
Yeah, no, I get Caleb every once in a while send me a text, and he goes, hey, we need to go to so-and-so, we need a face-to-face. And my first initial thought is, man, it's going to take a half a day. We got to drive maybe to the Bay. We could just make a call. We could make a text message, a video conference. And I'm like, no, sometimes we need to see each other as a real life person. And like you said, you have a tendency, I find technology, if anything, it kind of narrows how much we communicated. Preachers, I know, can go on and on and on, but sometimes it needs to be more than just the business. You know, we need to just say, how you doing? How's the wife? How's the kids? And those things don't usually come across in our technology because it's all business. I mean, it's all, you know, getting to whatever the subject matter is. So, yeah, I think you're right. We can't get rid of the face-to-face. Or if we do, we're debilitating our communication.
Well, let me encourage everybody that's listening to this podcast or even watching this podcast to check out Basecamp. We just kind of give it a little bit of a cursory understanding of it, but it really has been a huge thing. I think it's super easy to use. You get it free for 60 days. We don't make any money off of this. There's no sponsorship involved in this, so we're not plugging this because we're making something off of this.
It's a better way. A better way for you to organize your projects.
And it really is. I mean, Wayne and I are working on some. We've got some ideas for some projects. We're working on this new thing that's going to be coming out in October. And so, you know, Wayne was in Florida somewhere, and he sends me a picture or something, and he was like, "Here, look, this applies to whatever this particular project is." And instantly, the first thing out of my mouth was Basecamp.
Post it to Basecamp. And now I don't even send it to him. I just post it to Basecamp, and at any point in time, he can go through there and see. Maybe it was a lot like Evernote in that a lot of ideas that are just, you take a picture or you scribble something down, and I don't have to necessarily text or call at 1 o'clock in the morning when I saw it. I just posted it's there.
And it's there. You know, one of the big problems we have a lot of times is it's like, you know, I know Wayne told me this somewhere in a text conversation. You're scrolling through the text conversation to try to find it. Whereas now, whenever he says something important along the lines of dates or something like that, I'll say Basecamp it because it's so much easier. It's that central location that we go to, that we find information, and it tells us, you know, the specific tasks that need to be done in order for a project to be accomplished. Due dates for those specific tasks are on there, who it's assigned to. You can have questions, discussion questions on a specific task. Just for instance, we just finished up our 4th annual Expedition Winter Camp this year, and one of the things on there was lanyards. Wayne was making the lanyards, and he wasn't even in town, I don't think, and one of his task items was the lanyards needed to be done by a certain date, and so he clicked on it and pushed the discussion thing and said, you know, what color do you want the lanyards to be? Is there a specific size or whatever? And I was able to immediately, I got a notification on my phone that he had posted that. I got on there, responded to that, and it's right there. It's all in one spot. So even if he wasn't able to jump on it and take care of it right then, he didn't have to go back and flip through, you know, a text message conversation to try to find out that information. It was all stored right there in that one spot. So it really has become this central location.
It's been good for me to remember what I said. You know, I don't have to keep track. Instead of maybe a note on my phone or on my laptop that then I just can put it in Basecamp now, and I go back and say, hey, this is what I told you. Or Caleb goes, I can't remember what you said was going to be the size of that particular thing. And I go, I don't know. We can go back but I can go back and look. And at my age, it's good to have those kind of tools. That's why I was going to say, Jeff, you were thinking, what was I doing up at 1 o'clock in the morning? I got to get up and take my pill. That's why. Thanks for noticing.
I don't want to know. I don't.
You will know.
I don't want to know.
That's the sweet revenge of it.
I don't want to know. Well, anyway, we're out of time, so we're gonna have to wrap things up. I can't believe it's already been 30 minutes or so we've been into this podcast, but hopefully you've got some good information. Hopefully you learned something. Check out Basecamp if you work with other people. And look, one of the things is, Wayne and I were talking about this before the podcast, is yeah, it's great for preachers. One of the things is we just started doing this. We actually are using this as a ministry team. And when I mean ministry team, I mean all of our elders are on it now. All of our deacons are on it. It's a fantastic place to be able to put the information in there, and then you can keep track of what's going on. The elders don't even have to ask us what we're doing. They can just jump on Basecamp and they can see right on there what's happening. The deacons, stuff that's assigned to them, that information's on there. So hopefully, that even if you're not in a situation where you've got other preachers and you're just the lone man as far as a preacher is concerned, fantastic tool. fantastic tool to use in your congregation for managing all of your projects. You can use it from your worship services to any of your big events. If you do fall festivals, if you do anything like that, it's a great way to be able to organize all that information and keep that all intact. So check it out. Check out Basecamp. I believe it'll help your ministry and could be a big help to that. So,
and it's always good. The best part of it is, notice I didn't say better. It's just the best part is when you have those guys on their other end, like Jeff, like Dale, like Caleb, that are part of your team. That's the whole point, is that these are ways of not doing the job. They're the ways of incorporating more and more guys into your projects and be able to do it where maybe you couldn't have, as Jeff put it, a generation ago. We just couldn't have. We would love to have. You just can't. And now we can, and that's benefit to everybody.
So there we go. That message means
that means we're out of time.
Is
folks.
up. The time is up. So make your way over to the Recharge website, rechargeme.org. All of the information we posted, the schedule on there, has all of the speakers, the topics, everything that's going to be happening March 10th to the 13th. Hurry up and register because the early registration discount ends February 15th. Then the prices will go up then, so make sure you get registered on there. All the audio for the last 4 years is completely free on the website. If you go there, rechargeme.org, you can get all the audio from the last 4 years, listen to all the last
and you can
former
meet
sessions.
Dale and Jeff Jenkins in person in California. That's a win-win.
That is a win-win. And go to Disneyland on top of all that.
That's a win-win-win.
That's a win-win-win-win-win-win-win. Yeah, there you go.
Thanks for being with us, guys. We appreciate it.
Great to be with you.
Look forward to seeing you maybe in April. If not, we'll definitely see you in Alabama, but we definitely will see you in March in California.
Great.
And there is the bell.
There's the second warning.
Thank you for joining us here on the Recharge Excellence podcast. We have one goal with Recharge Excellence, and that is to refuel you to do more for Him every single day, and we hope we're accomplishing that, and we hope that you will be with us March 10th through the 13th at the 5th Annual Recharge Excellence podcast.
Bye-bye.
Until next month.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Adios.